week on For Art's Sake, British Columbia's native population are getting back in step with their cultural roots. From Saskatoon, we'll take a look at the Saskatchewan Craft Council and visit their new gallery, a showcase for the thriving and sophisticated talents. And from Regina, we'll examine what it takes to make it in the music industry, where the definitions of success can vary from one musician to the next. I'm Maureen Lindsay from the University of Regina's Visual Arts Department. I'll have those stories later on in the program. In reality, for every one musician that makes it, there are 1,000 that don't. There are a lot of obstacles that stand in the way, including years of hard work, little recognition, and very little pay.
Respect. That's what Blue Zone is after, and the band is earning it fast. It's one of Regina's hottest rhythm and blues bands. The oldest member of the group is only 24. The band's founding members, teenage brothers Kelly and Chris Craig, have been playing music together all their lives. Still, with school, work, teaching, and practice, Kelly says the demands of playing in a band take their toll.
Playing in a group is hard because you have to make sure everybody gets along. You got to make sure that everybody's blending as a group and it all comes together. Some days it just comes together really nice. And when it comes together on a night you're performing in public, that's a really great feeling.
Even if a band can hold together, the payoff is still a long way off. The Blazers have been together for 4 years, and their members have been playing music for more than 20. Lead singer Ralph L. says they invest what they do earn back into the group.
This band has made very little money, and all the money that we've made, we've put back into the band, you know, in recordings, and we spend more on production than a lot of other bands will, because we want things to look and sound the best that they can. We're not in it for the money.
The Blazers record their demo tapes at Inner City Sound, a Regina recording studio. Many of Regina's up-and-coming musicians come here to record their promotion tapes, usually under the guidance of producer Warren St. Ange. He says a band's next step is the most difficult of all, convincing a record company to sign it.
Flog it, you know, get out there and send it everywhere. And if they really believe that they have something, then don't take no for an answer.
You have to be tough and determined, but it can mean you have to make compromises. Mrs. Svenson is an alternative band that wants to make it, but on its own terms. The band has spent $2,000 on a demo recording, and they're counting on word of mouth to sell it.
This is woke up in the wrong side of her head. Part of it. Something like that.
Drummer Mark Fly and singer Zen Gargatzidis say Mrs. Svenson just isn't into top 40 radio play. Fly says going after commercial success would be selling out.
Oh no, that's like totally what we're against. Like first of all, you gotta be yourself when you're doing, like, you gotta play. The music's gotta like be true to you first, and then if everybody else likes it, that's cool too.
Promoting your band takes more than just musical talent, so says Regina guitarist Jack Semple. In 1988, it looked like Semple had it all. He moved to Toronto to play with the prestigious rhythm and blues band, the Lincolns. But he quickly learned the Toronto music scene wasn't everything he'd dreamed of. 14 months later, low pay and the high cost of living sent Semple and his family back to Regina. One thing he'd tell a young band now is that you can't afford to ignore constructive criticism.
If people make suggestions to you about your sound, you have two reactions. One is, are you crazy? And one is, geez, I never thought of that. So if it's the geez, I never thought of that, then I do it.
Looking back, Semple says any band searching for some sort of success has to be ready for years of hard work before getting a break. But good music isn't enough if you want to go further. Any band that wants radio play has to develop a sound listeners can appreciate. Terry Vaught promotes local bands at Z99 Radio. He says most young bands have to work on their sound for months to make it fit the market.
If you want to become, for example, a Northern Pikes or a Colin James, well, you sometimes have to, you know, give a little bit, and you have to revamp a song and do some songwriting. I think the best thing that bands probably get off us at this point is that they're able to give me a call if they do have some material that they're working on, and they send a tape in, and I try to get back to them and give them my, you know, my thoughts on their songwriting.
I think it's very difficult to be really good, so it takes a lot of time. And it probably takes a lot of years as a band to arrive at a sound, to, you know, for the band to become cohesive.